Channel 9 regularly scheduled programming will not be seen in order that we may present the following special program.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the fabulous Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, the Southern California members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints proudly present Celebrate America, as 14,000 of the finest young people in the country meet to celebrate and dance the history and culture of our great nation, with appearances from special guest stars, the Lennon Sisters, Merlin Olsen, the Osmond Brothers, 1984's Mrs. America, Debbie Wolfe, WKRP in Cincinnati's Gordon Jump, and Yvonne King of the King Sisters, and many more. And now, meet tonight's hosts, Mr. Steve Young, one of America's hottest professional quarterbacks, and 1984's Miss Teenage America, Laura Baxter.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Young.
Then I guess I'd better be Laura Baxter.
Yes, you are, and it's a pleasure to be with you again, Laura.
The pleasure's mine, Steve. Not only to be with you, but to be here among the famous Rose Bowl of what's got to be the greatest celebrations Los Angeles has ever seen.
That's really true. You know, the only thing I can compare it to is the opening ceremonies of the 1984 Olympics that were held in the Los Angeles Coliseum. That was a tremendous show with 2,000 dancers on the field at one time.
Yes, that was pretty spectacular. But you know, tonight we're going to see 7 times that many dancers. 14,000 young people from all over Southern California in a dance extravaganza that's going to knock your socks off.
And right now, they're ready for the grand entrance. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like you to meet a few of our friends, so brace yourself and let the dances begin.
Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Celebrate good times, come on! Celebrate good times, come on! Well, there's a party going on right here, a celebration to last throughout the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We will celebrate your party with you. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We're gonna celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We can celebrate and have a party tonight. Yeah.
Wow, what an entrance. Have you ever seen anything like that, Steve?
Never in my life, but as the man said, honey, you ain't seen nothing yet. We've got a show coming up that lives up to the promise of that opening number.
Yes, these kids will be celebrating America with the great dances that we've all enjoyed throughout America's history. Let's see, there's the Charleston, the swing, waltz, jazz, rock and roll, polka, square dance, even the varsity drag.
And we have a lot of exciting guest stars to meet, too. In fact, the lovely Mrs. America for 1984 will join us right after we come back from these commercial messages.
You mean we've got to have commercials?
Somebody's got to pay the bills.
All right, don't go away. We'll be right back. Here we are back at Pasadena's Rose Bowl to celebrate America in song and dance. This is such a great location. Steve, have you ever played football here?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have, Laura. I played here with Brigham Young University when we beat UCLA here in 1983. BYU's #1, you know. That's my school.
Yeah, mine too. Isn't it great? But you're kind of #1 yourself after receiving the biggest contract in the history of pro football as a professional quarterback.
And you were the #1 teenage girl in 1984 as Miss Teenage America. But lest we get caught in a mutual admiration society here, let's bring on the person who's going to introduce our next dance number, 1984's Mrs. America, the lovely Deborah Wolfe.
One of the greatest pleasures I've had during my reign has been the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people across our great land of America. I also got to know contestants from other countries when I participated in international competition. I especially enjoyed meeting women from Central and South America, and Mrs. Brazil and I became especially good friends. We treasure the friendship we share with our Latin neighbors to the south, so let's celebrate it now with music and dance. Olé!
Such a beautiful dance. What's your favorite, Steve?
Well, let's see. I think it's a tie between the twist and maybe the monkey.
You are crazy. Gentlemen, here to introduce our next dance are Yvonne King Birch, one of the famous King sisters from the big band era.
And from WKRP in Cincinnati, Mr. Gordon Jump.
In the 50s and 60s, there was a technology explosion for the home and for business and for space exploration.
Yeah, some of the kids got pretty spacey in the 60s, too.
New things like push-button phones and jet airplanes and satellites.
And vending machines. Golly, vending machines. I love
come on, Gordon. Vending machines.
Sure. But if that's progress, you can get anything you want from a vending machine.
How about a good 5-cent candy bar?
Well, right. Yeah, seriously, though, we do take a lot for granted. And there is a lot of wonderful technology that is worth celebrating. In fact, I think I'm going to go home right now and remind my wife just how lucky she is I got that garage door opener.
Great, Gordon. But our young friends are ready to show us how to celebrate through the music and dance of the 50s and the 60s.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me home. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4, if the band slows down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad
USA. You'll catch them surfing at Ventura County line. Santa Cruz and Caribbean. All over Manhattan and down the Meaning Way. Everybody's gone surfing USA. USA. Everybody's gone surfing USA. Everybody's gone surfing USA. Yeah, everybody's gone
You know, Laura, this dance festival is a pretty special event. The night is sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, who many people think are pretty straight-laced. How did they get so involved in dancing?
Well, I think it started when the Mormon pioneers crossed the plains as they gathered around their campfires each night with their fiddles and their banjos. Let's go back in time and take a look.
Brigham Young, the leader of the Mormon migration from Nauvoo, Illinois to Utah in 1847, saw dancing as a means to strengthen group solidarity and morale among his people. After the pioneers settled in the Salt Lake Valley, they built dance pavilions and church-sponsored festivals began in 1922 at Salt Air Resort on the Great Salt Lake. In 1947, they were moved to the stadium at the University of Utah and at times involved up to 12,000 dancers. The first Southern California Dance Festival was held in the mid-1950s at East Los Angeles Junior College. By 1973, over 5,000 dancers were tripping the light fantastic in Pasadena's Rose Bowl. 1976 brought out 9,000 participants to celebrate America's bicentennial, and in 1980, 10,000 young people commemorated in dance the sesquicentennial of the LDS Church. And now tonight, the biggest festival of them all, with 14,000 dancers coming from as far away as San Luis Obispo and San Diego, and from Bakersfield to Blythe, and all throughout Los Angeles, here tonight to celebrate America.
You know, Laura, it looks like the Mormons in Southern California have developed the dance festival into a fine art. Now that's something to celebrate.
Well, one thing folks down here are always celebrating is the beautiful weather and sunshine. Being from California myself, I know if there are any clouds, there's just enough to create a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, if Gene Kelly had depended on our weather, he wouldn't have had enough rain to sing in.
I'll say, but perhaps there'll be just enough to keep these young girls dancing. We'll be right back.
have you looked at that crowd tonight? The Rose Bowl is packed. This must be a world record for this kind of event, don't you think?
Yep, there's over 100,000 people here, including the dancers. In fact, I heard that someone is here to certify the festival for the Guinness Book of World Records.
How'd they ever get this many people together for a dance festival? Now, if it were a football game, I could understand it, but...
Funny you should ask that, Steve. People started arriving here hours ago. They even had a pre-show with several thousand more dancers and some top-flight entertainment. Take a look at this.
Wow, wasn't that something? I really love that.
And you're going to love this next dance, number 2. It's from the days of the Charleston and the big band era of World War II. In it, we celebrate the time when America pulled together to fight for peace and democracy in the world and preserve our heritage and our freedom. We also salute the many armed forces here and abroad who continue to do so.
The big band era? My parents are gonna love this. Mom and Dad, this one's for you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You know, I guess today Brigham Young is most famous for founding a university with a pretty good football team. But in his own time, he was better known for leading the Mormon pioneers across the Great Plains to Utah. And every year about this time, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints around the world celebrate the Mormon pioneers' entry into the Salt Lake Valley back in 1847. Some of them drove wagons, and some could only afford simple hand carts. But either way, at the end of a long, dusty day on the trail, they had a surefire way to lift their spirits around the campfires. Just watch.
Boy, that was fun. And I like what Merlin said about my third great-grandfather, Brigham Young, and our alma mater, BYU. That was pretty decent coming from a Utah State Aggie like himself.
Oh, that's because he's a real gentleman. And the next dance celebrates our great American educational system and the learning and refinement that produces such gentlemen.
And ladies, too, which you represent so beautifully.
Steve, you're sweet. Flattery will get you everywhere, except into our next number, which is a tribute to education and the colleges and universities of America.
See how it goes, down on your heels, up on your toes. That's the way they do the varsity drag. Hotter than hot, newer than new, meaner than me, bluer than blue. It's as much applause as waving a flag. You can pass many a class, whether you're dumb or wise. If you won't answer the call when your professor cries, everybody down on your heels, up on your toes, stay at the school, learn how it goes. That's the way they do the varsity drag. It's the drag, see how it goes.
Next up, we celebrate the spirit of Christmas with our special guests, the Lennon Sisters. Don't go away.
Capture the moment. Remember the excitement and joy of Dance Festival Celebration 85 with this beautiful 14-karat gold-filled pendant or key ring. Get this limited edition keepsake for yourself or someone you love. Order now for just $11 each. Write HMJ, Box 5518, Los Angeles 90055. That's HMJ, Box 5518, LA 90055. Or see our ad in the Sentinel. Make the memories and celebration live on.
some ladies who are everyone's favorite kind of people. They were featured for many years on The Lawrence Welk Show and went on to star in their own TV series.
They are known all over the world, and yet by mutual agreement, they consider their first and most important career to be their home and families. It is a genuine pleasure to present the Lennon sisters, Diane, Peggy, Kathy, and Janet.
Great. Wow, these folks really know how to throw a party.
I'm so glad we were chosen to introduce the Christmas waltz, my favorite time of the year.
Oh, mine too.
I just love it.
But tonight we're celebrating so much more than just a holiday.
That's right. We respect and honor collectively all the religious preferences in the world.
And as Christians, we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ, and give thanks for all that we enjoy.
Let's not forget that as Americans, each of us has the freedom to worship how, when, and whomever we choose.
And aren't we lucky?
Oh, we sure are. And that's really worthwhile celebrating.
Now shall we sing?
Seems worthwhile to me.
On his way, he's filled his sleigh with things for you and for me. It's the time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you hear seems to say, Merry Christmas, may your New Year dreams come true.
that gorgeous? And Steve, did you see those costumes? They were beautiful, as they all have been tonight. How'd you go about getting 14,000 costumes and getting them to fit?
It's not easy, believe me. The logistics alone would do credit to the Third Army. Just take a look at this. I have a list here that's rather impressive. Let's see. They used some 2.7 million spangles, 1,000 umbrellas.
Wait, let me write this down. It'll probably be in a trivia game someday.
There are 1,900 hats, 25,000 yards of sparkle nylon, 25,000 pom-poms, 70,000 yards of satin, and 6,000 petticoats. The list goes on and on.
People were from the Guinness World Book. I think we ought to get them up here to see that.
Well, they and everybody will want to see our next dance number, a tribute to the musicals of Broadway. It will be introduced by none other than the Osmond brothers right after these messages.
You know, New York Broadway shows have produced much of the world's most popular, most singable, and most danceable music.
That's right, and it's also important to pay tribute to all kinds of music. But tonight we particularly salute the Great White Way of New York, where most major musicals are born.
Hits from West Side Story to Cats, South Pacific to The King and I, and let's not forget the legendary Hello Dolly and Chorus Line.
Yes, and speaking of chorus line, we have one of the largest ever assembled right here.
So now let's bring on our salute to New York.
Take it away, girls.
New York has something more to offer than just Broadway shows.
That's right, Steve. In 1884, the U.S. was given a very special gift. It was called Liberty Enlightening the World. Many of us have great-grandparents or ancestors who immigrated to the U.S. from other countries, and most of them came with very little in the way of possessions or money. And what these countless thousands saw as they steamed into New York Harbor filled their eyes with tears and their hearts with hope. That great lady, the Statue of Liberty, has become the symbol of freedom to people around the world. The immigrants to America established a freedom of spirit that prevails in no other country in the world. They also came with deep traditions, and they lent these traditions to their new country. Irish, Austrian, Oriental, or Italian, their cultures have intermingled to make up the great melting pot of ethnic America. And part of that culture has been their dances, such as the polka and the tarantella.
We all can be grateful for being so fortunate as to live in a country with more freedoms than any other. Let's now join all our dancers as they combine together to celebrate America.
We've been traveling far without a home, but not without a star. Free, only one will be free. Because of clothes, hang on to a dream. On the boats and on the planes, come to America, never looking back again. Come to America, home. Well, it seems so far away. We're traveling light.
what can I say? That finale just about said it all. It's been really wonderful being here with you and with our 14,000 friends.
Our special thanks go out to all those who volunteered so much of their time and energies to make this festival possible. Good night to you all, and God bless.
Everywhere around the world, they come to America. Every time that flag's unfurled, they come to America. Got a dream to take them there. They come to America. Got a dream they come to share. They come to America. Country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Oh, thee I sing, thee I sing today.
This program was produced by the Southern California members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons.